are listening to the Pathfinder Guru Podcast, where we help you to become a greater leader. Join us as we take the Advent message to all the world in our generation. So, are you ready to become a guru in this ministry?
Attention. Welcome to the Pathfinder Guru Podcast, and thank you very much for joining us. I hope that you're doing well and you're safe under the shadow of God's wonderful wings. And you're doing all that can be done so that when all is said and done, children are doing what they can. Children are following in the footsteps of Jesus Christ, because at the end of the day, that is our mandate, this is our role, because we have been given these children by God to take care of them, to nurture them, and to ensure that basically when they grow up, they become good people, not only in the church, but also in the society. In today's episode, I want us to talk about a very sensitive topic, a very topic that has been happening on TikTok. It has been happening on TikTok, and I was having a conversation about it, but I did not dive deep into it, and I decided to do a podcast today about it so that we can talk about it. It's not a lengthy episode, but it's a very much crucial and important part that we need to talk about in this ministry that we are in, so that we are able to better understand it, and overall we can be better people. Now, in today's episode, it's titled "Experience Doesn't Override Positional Responsibility." Now, this thing has came about whereby we know that we have people that have experience in the ministry, that are skilled, that are talented, that have been in the ministry, that can contribute, that can share. But now we also have, on the other hand, people who do not have the experience that much, but also love the ministry and are also dedicated to the ministry, same as a person that has experience and that is knowledgeable about the ministry. Now, more often than none, we find out that a lot of people were complaining or raising issues, and I can personally testify on that one, whereby when experienced leaders tend to override you and thinking just because you do not have an experience and you've been elected to be part and parcel of a particular position, whether at church, and they tend to belittle you and think that you are not as smart as they think you are. Now, that brings a lot of problems in the ministry. Number one, we are saying we are servant leaders, whether you're a master guide or you are a senior youth leader, we are servant leadership. Now, servant leadership also means that you need to sit down. Others can take over and continue to lead, and you'll be guiding and advising when necessary. Now, the problem comes whereby experienced people come into the ministry and they tend to override and belittle people that do not have experience, but they have the love, they have the passion as like them. Now, how do we navigate through that one? How do we, as leaders that are experienced, how do we actually find a way to find common ground and also try to assist where we can? Because this thing is going to create a problem, because now a person that does not have a master guide, for example, but is interested and is elected by the church board to become a club director, and when that person is a club director, we need to respect that person. We need to give that person the rightful place that he or she is in, whether the person does not have much experience or whatever the case may be. Because at the end of the day, if we are going to belittle and undermine people that we say do not have experience in the ministry, then it's going to become a problem. But experiences are learned through leaders that teach those who are inexperienced to gain the skills and knowledge to maneuver around certain challenges that they come across in the ministry, whether it's administrationally at the local church, whether it's dealing with parents, whether it's dealing with enrollment situations and all things that is like that. It is our responsibility as leaders that are experienced to guide and advise the leaders who, I won't say inexperienced, but who are failing you in the ministry. At one point, you were like them. At what point, you did not know as much as you know now. So what makes it a difference that you are so special? We all started from zero, but because we love the ministry, because we were given a chance by people, because there are other leaders who recognized your talents, who recognized that this leadership style, this passionate leader is going somewhere. You were given a chance, you were given support, you were given guidance, you were given each and everything that you want. So my question to you as a leader now would be, then why don't you want to pass it on? Why don't you want to share it to those that need it? Because it's very much important to pass on the baton. We tend to forget that this baton that we are passing is very important, because you are not going to be a leader forever. You are not going to be a person that is still active. Sometimes, because even those that are not experienced or are failing you, they are given positions. It's because as us, we get old, we have responsibilities and all those things. So once you share the baton, you share the responsibility, you even out the field, it becomes much more easy, and the church has a pool of people that they can work with, and we are independent. We depend on we are not independent. We are codependent, meaning we're depending on each other, because I know that if I'm not here, the next person will take over. If this and this is happening, I know that I have somebody that I have trained, that I know that is capable, that he can tackle that particular job or that particular challenge. So as experienced leaders, let us allow new directors, new leaders, inexperienced leaders in the ministry to take over in things like that. Also, to leaders that I would say are failing you in the ministry, allow room. I understand sometimes it's difficult. I understand sometimes it's overwhelming. But I know if leaders who are with experience are able to help and guide you, to open the willingness to learn, the willingness to be pointed in the right direction, to have that criticism, so that when all is said and done, you are able to get the knowledge, to get each and everything that you want, so that you are able to grow. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to question. Don't be afraid to have to do mistakes, because sometimes we are new and we do not want to make mistakes. We do not want to question. We don't want to ask. We don't even want to read. We have manuals that guide us, that help us. But because we do not read, it tends to become a problem that now when experienced leaders come and tell you what you need to do, because you did not read or you do not want to read, it becomes an issue. I always said when I was still a young director, I taught myself how to find information. Yes, I was having experienced people around me, but I told myself, this thing is like a Bible. When somebody is quoting something, I wanted to say, no, where did you find this? What do you mean? And I love to read and verify. That way you expand your knowledge, not only from the experiences of the person, but also from the manuals and the books that the ministry provides us, that we can use to better function and to better run either our clubs or to run our areas in a more functional and free-flowing way. So think about it, so that we are able to improve everything. But I know that it's challenging, but I am pleading for experienced leaders. Please be watchful, be careful. We have many leaders that want to work, and we are hindering them from working. Thank you very much for joining us. May the good Lord be with you. May the Lord guide you, so that when all is said and done, all honor and glory may go to Him. But for now, you are dismissed.